So let's talk Knicks. I'm ready.
All right, we're here with Knicks Nightly, so let's just get right into it, right? So this talks on the Knicks wanting to change their starting lineup for this upcoming season.
Yes.
So I would like to know, from your opinion, what do you think is the best and the ideal lineup for this upcoming season?
For me, the ideal lineup is, first and foremost, let's get it out the way, Jalen Brunson starting at the 1.
For sure.
I want Mikal Bridges at the 2. Small forward, I want OG Anunoby.
I'll take that.
Power forward, I want Karl Anthony Towns. And then I want Mitchell Robinson starting at the center. And I know he can get in foul trouble early. I know that he's injury prone to a degree. I still want to start right there with him because at least you know what you got. At least you know how the referees are going to call things. He can learn how they're going to call things, and you're making use out of your fouls.
So essentially, you're talking about keeping the same lineup that they had in Game 5 and 6 against the Pacers.
That was definitely a better lineup. The problem was then how we used our bench was the new problem that we had against the Pacers.
Well, now that you brought that up, the bench with the new acquisitions of Clarkson and Yabusele, how do you think that both of them players will bring team success?
Clarkson automatically off the bench. Now we have a guy who is used to coming off the bench, has starred as a bench player, and can score right away.
Good.
So Yabusele, I like a lot because now you have a big that can shoot, that can still big body on defense, but can give you more offense than, per se, Precious Achiuwa or some of the other big bodies that we have.
I think you're very spot on with your take on that. I mean, Clarkson was a 6-man a couple years back, so he's a great plug and play player on the team.
Exactly.
Yabusele has showed his versatility, and what he did in the Olympics is the reason why he ended up getting an NBA contract to come back to Philly.
Exactly.
And he played his part. So I agree with you.
Exactly. This is not spring chicken. He's got some seasoning. He's got some international play.
Definitely.
And the NBA is leaning more towards international play, so it's good you got a guy that's familiar with that.
Absolutely. Talking about acquisitions, do you think the Knicks need any more acquisitions to
Personally, I do not think the Knicks need any more acquisitions to become a contender. I think they are a contender. I think they're the number one contender right now, of course, behind OKC, but number one in the East, definitely. There is a couple of guys out there, but I would really think about the makeup of the locker room, and are they going to bring drama or are they going to just come and play? You know, Ben Simmons is a tricky guy. I wouldn't necessarily reach out to him unless, and I wouldn't even say unless he accepts some role behind closed doors in a conversation, because he's always proven that it's a slippery slope with him. He's got a few years left in the NBA.
So you're dead set on the team that you currently have?
I'm dead set on the team. If there's some names that I can't think of that maybe can come back up point guard, maybe we get Dion Wright back. I actually liked the look that he gave us in the playoffs. Or if there's an extra Spencer Dinwiddie out there in the world who's willing to come off the bench, though, really, somebody who's going to say, yeah, I'll take 10 to 15 minutes and maybe I can give you a awesome 1 or 2 games that gets you over the hump. Nobody that's really going to take away from the starting lineup and the bench, which is really, aside from Clarkson, you put Josh Hart on the bench, he needs 20-25 minutes. Deuce McBride needs 20-25 minutes. So that other guy that comes, or whoever comes, they got to kind of be a little past their prime, willing to get less minutes.
With that being said, and this is more of a personal question I'd like to ask you and get your feedback on it.
Sure.
Precious Achiuwa, I feel like is a sleeper spark plug that the Knicks can definitely use, but he hasn't been picked up yet. Is that somebody that you would like to see come back?
I would like to see Precious Achiuwa come back. I would also like to see Landry Shamet. Mm-hmm. I just know that we're very tight on the financial. There isn't much available, and I think those guys might be checking out what their other options are. Is there more money on the table somewhere else? Because we're getting tight. We're getting tight. But I would like to see him back.
With the East being really weak this upcoming season with the the major contenders. Halliburton is down.
Tatum is down.
Giannis is in a weird situation when it comes to the Bucks. But there are teams on the East that have gotten stronger. So I would like to know, what is your take on the teams that had made new acquisitions that made them better, and how will the Knicks match up against said teams?
Well, I think some teams that'll probably come up will maybe be Orlando, maybe be Atlanta. And I think we just have to respect that and be able to play a different style of play against those guys. The Cavaliers are going to be good. They might still have some injuries lingering. So I really expect us to come out number one in the East. Yeah, we got to look out for some other guys because, there's going to be 82 games of basketball. There's other teams that could develop or begin to gel. There's teams making moves out there too.
Definitely, I agree with you 100%. So now that you've gotten a full season with Cat and Bridges. And with that being said, this season they were a 50-plus winning team. Do you think they can win more games this
I think we
season?
could definitely win 60 games. You got to know, Karl Anthony Towns, his first year, he arrives to the Knicks only a few months in, so it's tough for him to acclimate himself to our style of offense and not become selfish within it. And I thought he did really good with that. He allowed our guys who stars like Jalen Brunson, like Bridges, to when they want to shine, when they want to score, he just catches and swings the rock. But I think there has to be a better offensive plan for him where he doesn't have to come from the half-court line all the way looking like he's going coast to coast one-on-one at the top of the key all the time. We got to get him some layups, some easy dunks, some easy catches, some low post action as well as, yes, he can shoot, get him in the corners. So I think once you put them together for the second year, I think this is when the gel could happen. They went out for drinks as soon as they lost. I think they'll stay in contact. I think they were hanging out on some holiday action. And if they build that chemistry, it's really over because they could have a solid two-man pick and roll game with Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns that I did not see. And then a third option that Bridges in the corners and OG Anunoby in the corners as spot-up shooters, which I did not see.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that this team is actually have a really strong camaraderie, and that can be dangerous going forward for any other team because they're very familiar with one another. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw out a couple names, and I just want you to give me a brief summary of what you think they can do better for this upcoming season. So, Kat, what do you think he can improve on?
Karl Anthony Towns could probably pick his assists up. He was already grabbing a whole lot of rebounds. I thought he was scoring good. I think he could score a little more efficiently and woven into the offense better, where it's not just, hey, 4, 5, 6 plays in a row, let's go to Towns. Something that's more like Brunson, you go, Bridges, you go, screen roll, Karl Anthony Towns, you end up with the ball.
Okay.
And
now that Josh Hart has help at the power forward position, he can probably go back to his original position. What would you like to see from him going forward?
Josh Hart, I believe he has some sort of surgery. I think it might have been shoulder, hand, something.
Okay.
I still want to see him shoot better, really. I want to see him just be able to shoot the ball better. If he can do that, I think he's a guy that he should be on the court. He should be closing games.
And Brunson, Brunson really doesn't do much wrong, but there's always room for improvement, right? What would you like to see from Brunson, if anything?
I just want to see him execute, some offense that's woven in together with the other guys just a little more. Get some guys a little more easier buckets. And do his thing. Brunson's the man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We're all here because of Brunson.
We're only here because of Brunson. Big body Brunson. And lastly, the finals and the championship is absolutely what New York has been starving for all these years. So, but as a Knicks spectator, analyst that you are, what is your realistic expectations?
My realistic expectations, the minimum is the finals. We did the Eastern Conference Finals. This year, finals. And it's really a championship, but it's not necessarily a championship or blow the whole team up type of thing. So I expect them to get number 1 seed in the East, a lot of wins, number 1 offense, Number one defense is also a possibility if Mitchell Robinson can get you a good amount of games. And yeah, I really think we can take it all, honestly. Honestly, we can take it all. OKC was cool. I think we have a little more star power than them. The only thing that we were lacking in the end was the chemistry. They were not in a flow state when they were playing basketball. There was a little bit too much thinking. They changed the starting lineup, but people really didn't know how it was going to go off the bench. The minutes expectations had changed, and the chemistry just wasn't there. We played a team that was not better than us in my eyes. They just had better chemistry. They were together longer.
Yes, very solid team. And now this is my actual final question. Let's shed some light on Tibbs. I feel like he had a bad rap in the last few months, but he's ultimately the reason why this franchise is completely turned around. So if you could give us a few words on Tibbs.
No, I love Tibbs. Tom Thibodeau was the guy who helped the Knicks figure out who was not fit for the Knicks and who was not a starting player. I think he really was able to do that in a strong, powerful way. Obi Toppin was a great player, but they clashed for a reason. He wanted three-pointers. He wanted better defense from him. And when we couldn't get that out of him, we kept looking, we kept hunting. Quickly was good. We kept looking, we kept hunting. And you kind of knew why some of those guys were in the doghouse, because they're still not turning the corner on their game.
Yeah.
Quickly's not over there passing and headed into all-star. He can score, he can microwave from time to time, but he wasn't a team player enough to get us over the hump, I think. And Tom Thibodeau helped us realize a lot of those things.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that
he stood on business.
Yeah, and the trades that were made, it seems like it worked out in the Knicks' favor rather than those players who departed. And lastly, how do you think Mike Brown will be as a coach for this?
I think Mike Brown will be awesome as a coach. I think he's going to give us better offense, and he's going to give us better defense. I think he's also going to bring us a stronger assistant coaching staff that's going to help with both of those two categories separately.
Okay.
And it's really going to allow a guy like, I think, Karl Anthony Towns to excel and play in a way that the fans and his team feel good about it. I didn't think the ISO ball that Tom Thibodeau would force Karl Anthony Towns to run a lot of times was conducive to the guys around him feeling good about him, or even the fans really appreciating how good Karl Anthony Towns is. He's really big. He's really a mismatch. And just give him some plays that make it easier for him. Don't have him coming from the half-court line, playing one-on-one, dribble hezzy, and getting all the way to the basket for a dunk. Let him catch it at the foul line from time to time and go to the rim for a dunk. Let him catch a spot-up shot that's an easy one, not no off the dribble. I thought Tom Thibodeau was making Karl Anthony Towns look bad with some of those plays that weren't called for him, basically.
And you have it. Mr. Knicks Nightly himself.